From the grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth to the number of stars in the sky, our universe is teeming with big numbers. Miles beneath our feet, there could lie a quadrillion tons of diamonds. With the addition of only a few zeros, big numbers transform from countable to the subject of guesswork. Eventually, their existence pulls at our imagination and requires the crafting of intricate scenarios. They may or may not have a presence in the universe, from the tiniest specks in the universe to the biggest numbers humanity has ever conceived. In today's video, we will try to understand the smallest to the largest number with their existence in the universe. Zero. The total energy that makes up the microbes, plants, oceans, planets, stars and galaxies, and in other words, our entire universe is probably zero. That's because the negative energy in the universe most likely cancels out the positive energy. Physicists consider light, matter and antimatter to be positive energy, while all the gravitational energy between particles has a negative charge. So everything balances out. For example, a ball at rest on table has no energy. But if the ball falls off the table, it gains positive energy that is exactly cancelled out by the negative gravitational energy. As scientists reported, the Big Bang threw the universe off the table where it was resting as light and matter began moving, and now we are falling. But all the positive energy we gain while falling is balanced out by the negative gravitational field, which is created by these moving particles. 500,000. There are over 500,000 pieces of space junk, both meteors and artificial particles, larger than the size of a marble that orbit the Earth, according to NASA, and millions more are too small to track. This computer-generated image illustrates a space junk in the geosynchronous region, or around 35,785 kilometers in altitude above Earth's equator. And 95% of the objects in this picture consist of orbital debris, discarded human-made objects or pieces of objects like non-functional satellites, most of which is concentrated within 1200 miles or 2000 kilometers of Earth's surface, according to NASA. 1 million. According to space.com, there are 1 million planets in habitable zone, meaning that all capable of supporting life could theoretically orbit a supermassive black hole. Astrophysicist Sean Raymond calculated that a black hole that has a mass of 1 million times that of the Sun and a ring of 9 Sun-like stars around it could hold 400 rings of planets. Each ring would have 2,500 Earth-mass planets. In such galaxies, you would never feel alone. Other planets would loom huge in the sky. This is of course just one scenario of possible planetary systems in the universe, and a very cramped one at that. 18 billion. Every year, 18 billion pounds or 8 billion kilograms of plastic waste enter the ocean around the world, according to National Geographic. All of this plastic harms marine life. Turtles are gazing on straws, while whales and seabirds are starving because their bellies are stuffed with plastic, leaving no room for food. Around 40% of all the world's plastic is produced for packaging, and over 80% of plastic used is not recycled and go into the ocean. 500 billion. An average male produces around 525 billion sperm cells over a lifetime and loses around 1 billion of them a month. During a single ejaculation, males release between 40 million and 1.2 billion sperm cells. In contrast, women are born with around 2 million egg follicles but release only about 450 mature eggs for fertilization in their lifetimes. Why the disparity? A sperm competition is an evolutionary imperative for males across the species. In other words, the more sperm a male can get close to fertile egg, the better chances him, rather than some other male, has of being the one to impregnate the woman. 3 trillion. There are over 3 trillion trees in the world, according to Life Science, but this is just an estimate and the true number could change. And each year, humans may be removing around 15 billion trees while planting just 5 billion. Since the last ice age 11,000 years ago, humans may have already removed 3 trillion trees. Quadrillion. The Earth's interior may be filled with a quadrillion tons of diamonds, but these diamonds are unreachable, located around 145 to 240 km below the surface of the Earth in roots of cratons, or large sections of rock that lie beneath most continental tectonic plates. A group of scientists found that seismic waves or vibrations that run below Earth's surface and vary based on the makeup of the rocks they travel through tended to speed up when moving through cratonic roots. Their speeds match those found for virtual rock models composed in part by diamonds. Quintillion. Ever wanted to count the grains of sand on beach? Scientists estimated that there are around 7 quintillion grains of sand on all the world's beaches. Well, actually 7 quintillion 500 quadrillion grains of sand, or 7.5 with 18 zero after 8. Now the question is this: to prove that experimentally, would we have ever time to count it all? Sextillion. Humanity may have left 24 sextillion 640 quintillion footprints on this planet since our early days. This calculation was made assuming an average person walks 10,000 steps a day and lives to the age of 65. In a March study, scientists described some of the oldest human footprints found in North America, dating back 13,000 years. Septillion. There are around 1 septillion stars in the universe, according to space.com. This calculation assumed there were around 10 trillion galaxies in the universe and multiplied that by the Milky Way estimated 100 billion stars. But even this giant number could be an underestimate, since we don't really know how large the universe is. The observable universe goes back around 13.8 billion years. Beyond that, it could be infinite. Octillion. There are around 920 to 3170 octillion microbes on the planet. This image shows a type of staph bacteria called methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus superbug. As the name suggested, these bacteria have become resistant to certain first-line antibiotics. Nonillion. It would take around 160 nonillion Great Pyramids of Giza to match the mass of the Milky Way galaxy, according to Inverse. Sextillion. The mass of the observable universe is 36 decillion kg, which is equivalent to about 25 billion galaxies the size of the Milky Way. This image from 2012 shows a deep view of the universe assembled from many different sorts. It contains around 5,500 galaxies. Quinbizentillion. According to physicists, there are around 100 quinbizentillion atoms on the planet, or 100 followed by 78 zeros. By mass, around 75% of the universe is made of hydrogen and 25% is helium. Googol, a quantity that surpasses even the number of hydrogen atoms in the observable universe, is a number dating back to the mid-1900s and is still used by mathematicians today. Googolplex. If you fill the entire observable universe with fine dust particles around 1.5 micrometers big, the total number of combinations in which these particles can be arranged is equal to 1 Googolplex, according to astronomer and astrophysicist Carl Sagan. American mathematician Edward Kastner invented the number Googol to describe 10 to the 100 power, or 1 followed by 100 zeros, but he actually credited the name to his nephew, Milton Sinotta, who coined it in 1920 at the age of 9. Milton then came up with the number Googolplex, which he said should be 1 followed by writing zeros until you get tired.